It is Tuesday, September 2nd, and it is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. And folks, a new XP1 starts today here on Fightful Overbooked. If you don't know what the XP1 is, see those little things in the corner? Hopefully I'm pointing the right way. I don't even know if I'm pointing the right way for most people. This way, that way. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
better. You
way.
have to do the you do have to do the opposite way. Yeah.
Yeah, that way. Nah, who knows? Yeah, you got little crowns in the corner. It's got 1, 2, 3, and everything. The person who gets the most crowns at the end of the month is the winner of the XP1, and they get a cameo from Brian Alvarez. 3-time winner Zeno Hour. We'll see if he pop. Oh, he's here in the chat already. Of course he is. What else is he
Of
doing
course he is.
with
He
his
doesn't have
life?
anything else to do.
Zeno Hour has won for 3 straight months. In fairness, we don't know if he won last month. I rigged it for him because I thought it was funnier to have Brian Alvarez bury him for a 3rd straight month. So he maybe did not win. I didn't even do the votes. I'm very honest with the process of things. I did not tally the votes. I don't know who actually won for the month of August. We just called Zeno Hour the winner because it was funnier that way. We'll see if Zeno Hour actually wins in September. I will not rig it. I promise. Scout's honor. I will not rig the SP1 in September, or the XP1 in September. That is
So it's
SP3.
the SP1. That's talking about my granddad.
That is SP3. SP3. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I'm glad to be here on another Tuesday. Good morning, everyone. Happy belated Labor Day for all you Americans who celebrate. And yes, here to talk about the weekend that was. Even though you guys did a good job of talking about it, I did check y'all out as I was doing my work around the house. And yeah, I heard y'all talking about everything that went down this weekend. But if there's anything else for us to talk about, we'll talk about it here. We got some Monday Night Raw to talk about, an actual good episode. I think I said that for the first time in months. It felt like last night. Yeah, well, not last night. Yesterday afternoon, watching the show, I was like, "Oh, this was actually a good show." Maybe it was the crowd. I feel like it was an average show that was boosted by an all time crowd in France. So, yeah, we'll talk about Monday Night Raw today. We got a special guest joining us today, the always great Donovan Dijak, representing MLW, will be joining us at 11 a.m. So make sure you're here for that, or tell a friend to come back for that. And let's get rid of all the pleasantries. So remember to drop the thumbs up on the video, help the YouTube algorithm as Jeremy tries to help us with some fireworks. There we go. And of course, share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, family, all that good stuff. And of course, subscribe to Fightful Overbooked for more. We're here 5 days a week with In the Weeds. We got Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. We got Wrestling Made Me Cry. Everything in between. The Spotlight. It's a great channel. You should subscribe and check out for more. Plus, we got Worst of the Weeds, which is low-key the best show on this channel.
We got to figure out what. Something in my throat. Sorry. We got to figure out Worst of the Weeds for this month, or for this week, month. There's no set schedule for Worst of the Weeds. We do it when we kind of have time, and then we watch bad wrestling matches. We got to figure out Worst of the Weeds for our next episode, because there's no wrestling this weekend, I don't think. Thank God.
No. Yeah, for
nice.
real. Like,
Nice reprieve.
yeah. It was like back-to-back weekends. I was like, oh man, not again. Not again.
They saw football this weekend, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
We gotta.
It was like,
gotta take a break on this one. Yeah.
no all out. No all out back-to-back now. 2 weeks after all in or Forbidden Door. No.
Yeah. It's all loading up for, September 20th, though, when there's nothing but wrestling that weekend.
I was like convinced. I was like, I'm gonna listen to all you guys who have been telling me, oh, AEW is not gonna get affected by Wrestle Palooza, and I was like, you know what? I'm with you. I'm just gonna watch AEW All Out, And then WWE, they gone in. No, they gone in because John Cena and Brock Lesnar might not be for me, but AJ Lee returning, that's definitely for me. that being added to a Wrestle Palooza that has a John Cena Brock Lesnar match, has potentially Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. IYO SKY versus Stephanie Vaquer was announced last night. Yeah, they going ham. The Usos probably reuniting against the Vision. Like, come on, they're going ham. They taking this serious. I need AEW to keep the same energy they had on Wednesday tomorrow. They need to keep that same energy, have a sense of urgency because WWE definitely got it.
I should clear up. Wrestling Made Me Cry is not back. Everybody, Kylie and Collins are on a break. I don't know when they will be back, but hopefully at some point they will be. Bless them for getting out of this wrestling space, with level-headed
everyone with a level head should take a break.
Yeah.
Me and Jeremy don't have level heads.
No, unfortunately not. I wish my head was a little bit more level. It's way off kilter, not level at all. Collision is on Saturday, Matthew. We're talking about like major events. Collision's always there. SmackDown's always there. We're talking about major shows that are not there on many weekends. Does TNA have a show? I feel like TNA probably just has like a surprise show that I just don't know about because it feels like forever since they've run one. But hopefully I'm wrong and they don't have one. They have a live show on Thursday.
I think Victory Road is not this weekend, but the following weekend.
Oh gosh, all right, sure. TNA.
It's like, why do you do this? Why do you do this to me, TNA?
Yeah, the number two promotion in America, TNA. As SP3 mentioned, we do have Donovan Dijak joining us at 11. We'll talk to him about the MLW. He's got Matt Riddle coming up at Fightland. He is challenging for the MLW World Title. He's one half of the MLW Tag Team Champions with Bishop Dyer, aka Baron Corbin, as the Skyscrapers, which fantastic name from old Sid and. Oh my gosh, why is Sid's partner escaping my name or my brain right now? Who was the Skyscrapers with Sid?
Someone in the chat is probably going to say,
Dan Spivey. Dan Spivey. Thank you.
Dan Spivey. I was like, it hit me just as I was like, someone in the chat's going to say it. And I was like, no, it's Dan Spivey.
Yes, Sid and Dan Spivey were the old Skyscrapers. So we're going to talk to Dijak about that name and if they got permission to use it from anybody.
When was the first time they saw this? He saw the Skyscrapers.
Yeah, we'll talk to him. We'll talk to him about trying to kill Cruel at the last MLW event. He threw him over the building at the last MLW event. We'll talk to him about CMLL. He just competed in the World. I forget the name. The
Grand Prix.
Yeah,
the Grand Prix. 82 minutes.
That's a long match. That's above my pay grade type match there. 82 minutes. Little heavy.
He was like, I don't know about that, partner. I don't know. I'm gonna need a couple of days to watch that.
Yeah, 18 to 20 is my sweet spot. You go 82, you're way over.
He's like, I need
you've quadrupled it.
He's like, I need 4 days to watch it. I'm gonna watch 20 minutes a day.
You've quadrupled my sweet spot. So we got Dijak at 11. We got Bishop Dyer tomorrow. Looking forward to that. I don't think he is on Busted Open today, so we will hopefully be the first people to ask him about John Cena using End of Days.
Yes.
And that'll be an exclusive for people here on this channel, along with everything else we got to talk to about with Bishop Dyer, because he's a very opinionated man. I'm going to ask him if he's getting invited to the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift wedding, because he is a friend of Travis Kelce. So I got, no actual wrestling questions for like his career. Just ask him about other people's career. That should go very well. Get a message afterwards, be like, why didn't you ask him about his upcoming stuff? It's like, I don't know. We'll talk about jiu-jitsu tournaments as well.
Ask him who came up with the dog food idea.
Oh, that was just a Vince call. Like,
it had to be one of the right. It had to be Koski. This was one of Koski's bad days.
I think he's told that story before. And we can still ask him, but I feel like I've heard him talk about the dog food before. But we got Bishop Dyer on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, Matthew Justice returns. He is taking on Hammerstone in a Texas death match at Fightland. He also jumped off a hot dog cart with Shotzi Blackheart at Circle 6 this past weekend. So we'll talk to him about that. I'll ask him if he started Creep by smashing pumpkins, because I ask him that in every interview we have done with him. So loaded week with guests, all at 11 o'clock, everybody. All at 11 o'clock this week. So that means we might actually have to talk wrestling like before 10:45.
Oh man, that
very
sucks.
Unfortunate. Yeah, very unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, we don't have to. There's other stuff going on.
Yeah. Didn't we not talk? How did we do that? We have like twin telepathy. I sneeze and then you cough right after me. But what I was gonna say, have you caught up on the challenge now?
I am. I'm fully caught up. I watched this past week's episode. As I was saying, there's no way old sportscaster Ben has been in a fist fight.
Never in his life. Never in his life. The way that he got smashed in that basically fake hall brawl / whatever they used to call it. I think it was like free agents. They had something similar where you run in the circle and then you smash into this person and then you run on the other side to put something or ring a bell. I think it was ring a bell back in season 25. But yeah, that challenge, the way that he got stunned by Derek, I don't believe he's ever had a bare knuckle fight in his life. There's no way.
Yeah. He said he fought Anderson Silva's kid. I'm like,
when the kid was like 4 years old, probably like you had a distinct size advantage on the kid and everything else. Like, there's no way. I don't believe anything that's coming out of your mouth at this point. But that it sucks because he wouldn't have been in that position. He pretty much would have been safe if Olivia did not open her mouth. Olivia is getting a little too comfortable. I'm still team Olivia, still team Theo, because Theo had the line of the episode. But damn, man, Olivia was getting a little too cocky with, I don't mind. You could send Ben in and I'll be the hangnail. It's like, chill, relax.
It's been a good season.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah. I saw the.
I like the new threats. Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah, it's nice that they're paired with vets, so because it kind of has like the fresh meat aspect of things to it, so they're like immediately in the game, and you can't just throw them in immediately. Like, okay, we're just gonna get rid of all the new people and just completely truck over them because they're all tied with a veteran. Again, the format, we talked about it, I think last week. The format's really strong this year, so hopefully they don't change it up and they have a fake redemption house to get bananas back on the show.
Except for freaking the tiebreaker, freaking TJ just pulling out a coin. He's like, all right, hilarious. Just gonna pull out a coin.
That was actually hilarious though. Like, you want to do a tie? All right, we're just gonna leave it up to this coin. Is that what y'all want? Y'all's fate decided on this coin? Do a tie. That's what we're gonna do. I actually respected that it was a coin flip for the tiebreaker. That's how they do tiebreakers in the NFL. When it comes to draft picks, you know, teams got the same record. Oh, who gets the 9th pick? I don't know. Flip a coin. That's who gets the 9th pick. Like, what? I don't mind the coin flip as the tiebreaker. You know,
that's fair. That's fair. I do like the battle lines have been drawn, and despite like bananas being gone, that they're still there because Michaela is very much, she's not messing with Olivia and the UK alliance, and she's basically trying to get the rookies to wake the hell up and go against them. Sydney is against them, who I said last time, and I'll say it again. She's female West. Every time she talks, I'm like, yep, that's female West. Pretty much. That works. It's sad that Cara had to go. That was when she found out about her mom.
Yeah, yes. That was very unfortunate that Cara is now out of the game. She was flying under the radar this season. It felt like she might be poised for a big second half, because usually the people flying under the radar in the first half can kind of step up in the second half.
Plus, she was close. She was close with Olivia, so she could have just ride that side of the house to the end.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's actually talk some wrestling. Let's get into a little bit of wrestling talk before we welcome Donovan Dijak on the program at 11. Monday Night Raw last night. Becky Lynch, CM Punk. CM Punk was waiting backstage for Rollins and Lynch. And there was only one entrance, but somehow they found another entrance to enter the building. And CM Punk's like, what the hell, man? I thought this was the only entrance. Like, why would you think this was the only entrance? They could have just entered in through, like, the doors with the crowd or something. Yeah, it's a pretty big arena. I feel like it has multiple entrances, you know? But he thought that was the only entrance. Adam Pearce informs him they're here. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the ring. I'm going to call them out. CM Punk goes to the ring. He calls out Seth Rollins. He gets Becky Lynch. He said, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your husband. Becky defends her husband. Says, you've been saying all these mean things, disparaging things. My daughter has to hear these things you say about him. When you left, they chanted for you during my matches. And it was disrespectful. He's like, they chanted for me because I'm the best in the world. Here's what I would have liked from Becky. She should have turned the crowd chants against Punk. Because you've mentioned it plenty, SP3, and we've talked about it before. The crowd, they even did this. They're singing the song. She says Seth frickin' Rollins, and they're chanting Seth frickin' Rollins at the same time. She is. When he's talking about, like, oh, they chant for me because they respect me because I'm the best in the world, like, and all of this stuff. Becky should have been like, these idiots chant for you because they're dumb. They're not on your side. They cheer for Seth. They sing Seth's song. They don't know what they want.
And she kind of made the face acknowledging that they're just dumb and they just always cheer for Seth when they start singing his song. Like, she made a face that was kind of like saying that without saying it, but you need to say it because it's wrestling.
Yeah, because wrestling fans are dumb, so you have to, hit them over the head with this stuff. But it would have been good because hopefully it would have also stopped them from singing the song and stopped them from doing Seth freaking Rollins as well. I agree.
The only thing that will change it is if you get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But maybe if it would have, shed some light, because Seth has pointed out before, he's like, you guys are fickle, you still sing the song and everything. But if, like, she would have at least hammered that home, of been like, see, you idiots, you chanted for him all those years ago because you're disrespectful. You chant for him now because you say he's the best in the world, but then you still cheer for my husband. Then you still sing my husband's song. You guys are just idiots who don't know what you want, who just want to come out here and, we do our song and dance for you. And she did mention, like, you just like hearing your own voices and you like singing your songs and everything, but she could have gone a little bit harder on that to maybe get them to stop singing the damn song and stop cheering for Seth when he does his revolutionary, visionary Seth freaking Rollins bit. Apologies. They continue. She shuts down some AJ Lee chants multiple times, saying she doesn't work here anymore. CM Punk continues to, he's like, Seth is hiding behind the Vision. He's hiding behind you. He's a paper champion. He's a coward. Seth comes out and he's like, you wanna fight me? Come on and fight me. And then Becky stands in his way, and he finally moves Becky aside, and then Seth walks to the back. And then as CM Punk turns around, Becky's laughing and then slaps him multiple times, just paintbrushing him. And she rubs his head into his chest. He's like, what are you going to do? Come on, do something. And Punk says, your husband's going to regret that he ever cashed in on me, and you're going to regret ever laying hands on me. And then he walked to the back, and Becky's like, oh, sing the na-na-na song. Get out of here. You want to sing some songs, sing that. I thought this was a great segment. I thought Becky continues to be the best promo in her house. I thought Punk was very good in this segment as well. I don't fully need them just rehashing CM Punk walk it out. I get it. It happened 11 years ago. Do we need to keep going to that well? At least this was a new twist because they did chant for him during women's matches. I would have liked if she had even mentioned, because they brought up they were chanting for AJ Lee. If she had mentioned, they chanted that during your wife's match. Like, how'd you feel about that? You're overshadowing your wife with because you walked out. That's the disrespect you showed to this company. I thought they could have maybe thrown that in there as well, but otherwise,
too early. Too early. That's
well,
hammering. They're just trying to tease it right now. They're trying to put the seeds down and start watering it. That's just being like, well, here she comes. Here she comes. Like, I feel like that's I could understand most of your nitpick. That one, I'm like, nah, that would have been too much. Would have been too
okay,
much here.
all right. Well, here's the thing: do they have AJ Lee? Because that backstage,
I think they are hedging their bets. They are hedging their bets here.
that backstage with Rhea made it seem like, oh, if we don't have AJ, then
we got the biggest star currently here, just in case.
And if you don't have AJ, you got to make it very clear very early that you don't have AJ, because the longer you tease possibly having her, the more upset people are going to be if it's not delivered. I think if you don't have AJ Lee, you got to make it clear on SmackDown, on Friday SmackDown.
Yeah.
You got to do something like Seth and Becky are beating up Punk, and Rhea makes a save. She'll get the big pop making the save. They love Rhea. They love her theme and everything. So she'll get the big pop there. They'll stand side by side. It shows like, oh, okay, it's Punk and Rhea. The crowd, after they come down, they might be a little upset of like, oh, wait, this means we don't have AJ Lee. But you deal with that on the come down and not on the announcement of, I don't think you can announce it. I don't think you can announce like, oh, me and Rhea against you and Becky, because then people are going to be upset about that. You got to kind of do the Rhea theme, get the pop, make it clear it's Punk and Rhea, and then on the come down, just deal with the repercussions of, wait, you don't have AJ Lee.
But this, like, and I agree with you. This segment, you said great. I think that this was excellent. I think this was one of the best promo segments of the year. Like, we talked about it after the Cena pipe bomb, how people were praising that as, the best WWE promo of the year. I think this was much better. This was much better because it was Becky Lynch interacting with CM Punk. You have one of the greatest, if not the greatest, female talker in wrestling history going up against one of the greatest male talkers in wrestling history, and just the interactions were just so great, so riveting to watch. And hearing Becky's response, Becky was justifiably annoying as hell in the best way possible. She just hits all the right notes and knows how to just get under the fan skin as well as whoever she's going up against. And I think you said, well, we've heard enough about, the CM Punk walked out. You needed to hear it from Becky Lynch, because this was Becky Lynch explaining why she got involved. Like, I understand that complaint or that nitpick if this is Seth Rollins interacting with Punk again and bringing up, you walked out a couple of years ago. I like the fact that it was Becky Lynch who mentioned it and said that and noted that, because that's her reason for getting involved in this. Because Punk's like, now Seth's hiding behind you. But she was like, no, I was forced to be involved in this because of everything that you have done. You walked out on the company and you said all these disparaging things about the father of my child. So now I have to step in and get involved in this. So I thought that Becky was on the top form. I thought that Punk felt motivated, and this was the best kind of CM Punk. This was a CM Punk promo that is kind of, you could pick it out of a lineup. It's not a CM Punk promo like when he went against Gunther, where he cut a promo that he could have cut against anybody who was holding the World Heavyweight Championship at the time. He cut a promo for Becky Lynch. It was, you're the man. You've accomplished so much, everything that you've done. But, you know, I'm the best in the world. This is what I done. So I don't like the fact. And he was like, you know, now he's hiding behind his wife. And he was like, but you're much more than that. You are the man. You are one of the biggest stars that we have here. Like, he really put over Becky Lynch. Like, this was someone that was worthy of him going toe to toe with, bar for bar with, on the mic. This was so well done. This is the best segment that Monday Night Raw has had in weeks. It's been weeks. Monday Night Raw has been a struggle to get through for the past month and a half. This was the best thing they have done on this damn show in since like at least June. I
don't disagree with that. I was trying to think of another like strong segment that they've had, and most of the Seth promos are Seth promos. The beatdowns of Roman, the first one when Bronson stole his shoes, was really
That was great. That was great.
Repetitive.
Naomi announcing her pregnancy. That was great.
Yeah, that's
like there's stuff that's great. I think this was the next level up. Like we said, like we talked about it before. There's levels to this. There's great, there's very good, there's solid, there's fine, there's bad. Like it goes like that. But a level above great is excellent, fantastic stuff. Like this is what that was. This was a money-making segment. This was a segment that, like, I 100% agree with the sentiment that you put out there. If you don't have AJ Lee, you have to announce it on Friday, because this segment was all built up for an AJ Lee return. They made that feel like it's one of the biggest things possible that can happen right now. Becky acknowledged the fans chanting AJ Lee. All they did was subtle little hints of Becky is now aligned with Seth, and Punk looks at a sign that says AJ Lee, and Big E mentions it on the post show. That's all they did, and they got this loud, big reaction as soon as Becky came out of AJ Lee, AJ Lee, AJ Lee, and they acknowledged it as well. This tells me that if they don't have anything signed, they're very close and they're very confident they're going to get something done, because AJ Lee, like, then there's the question, the next debate that we're going to have once you announce an AJ Lee return for Wrestle Palooza is, what main events Wrestle Palooza at that point? Because that's worthy of the main event, the biggest mixed tag team matchup of all time. Cena and Brock in the main event. That's worthy of the main event. Cody and Drew McIntyre is worthy of the main event. Like, you got 3 big matches there.
It's not Cody and Drew. Sorry. It's
the WWE Championship. Yeah, it's the richest prize in our business.
It's not Cody and Drew. It should be AJ and Punk against Becky and Seth. I don't know if it will be. I kind of think it'll be Cena and Brock. I think that'll honestly main event. What do you make of if they do have AJ Lee?
I would think, if WWE is smart though, they schedule Cena and Brock to start at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh.
Right as All Out is starting.
Yeah. That's a possibility. That's a possibility if they do that. They might do Cody and Drew right at 8. So
I would think that opens the show. That's 7.
You think it's gonna open?
Yeah.
Maybe. But then you're following it up with Cody and Brock. Cody and Drew.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Cody and Drew can be the first 30 minutes. You put a buffer match, a Wyatt 6 versus Street Profits in between, and then you do the
Wyatt 6 and Street Profits.
No, I'm just saying a match like that, a dead duck, Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. If you want a Raw,
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna have a buffer match on this show.
I don't know. From the matches that they are teasing or building up, like, this is WWE going ham. Yeah. Like, this is not them just saying, oh, we're going against AEW oh, we're gonna put out a main roster PLE and we can throw out any main roster PLE. No, outside of WrestleMania and maybe SummerSlam, this is the biggest WWE PLE of the year. Like it's the ESPN premiere, it's the ESPN app premiere. It's Brock Lesnar versus John Cena during John Cena's retirement tour. It's possibly the return of AJ Lee teaming up with her husband CM Punk to verse Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, the GOAT. And it's not just her saying that; it's Sports Illustrated saying that as well, which is me. So that you got that, you got Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. You got Stephanie Vaquer and IYO SKY, which is for the hardcore wrestling fans that know those are two of the best women's wrestlers in the world. I agree with Zarian in the chat. Like, the way WWE is going hard on this, I would move all out to the afternoon. Like, seriously, bro.
No. People got to stop with move all out to the afternoon.
Then, I would not blame WWE. I would not blame AEW if they did it. I would not blame them.
They were there first. It looks like a weak move if you're moving your show because of what's WWE. Because then it shows that you can be bullied out of this spot.
That's true.
And you can't show that. You just can't. Because then WWE's gonna keep doing it. They're gonna be like, oh, all right, well, we got you to move here. Well, next show you do, we'll put another Cena match. We'll put another Brock match. I know they're out of Cena matches at the end of this year. They don't they're not gonna have an AJ Lee return potentially for every show. They're not gonna have Cena and Brock for every show, but they'll come up with something to where it's like, all right, how can we take them off of that spot? Because they know they can do it if they've done it with this. So show that they can't do it with this, and then it's like, all right, well, if we can't do it with this show, we're not going to be able to do it, period. We're just going to have to take what we get on here. So, yeah, I don't think they should move the show. And the Joel and I talked about the logistics of it. Like, can you actually move the show to the afternoon? What does that do for
probably
your
not
tickets?
Now. Yeah, probably not now.
You're less than a month away from this thing. Like, people might have afternoon plans. There's a Gabriel Iglesias concert the night before, or stand up, whatever it might be, the night before. Like, you got to think of getting everything in and out from that, and now you're going to have less time to do all that. I don't think logistically, even if they wanted to, they could do it. But I still don't think they should do it, period, because then it just shows you can be bullied off the spot. And they shouldn't get bullied off the spot. Hold your post, Tony Khan. You know, look, Shaq might get Shaq calling for the ball in the post. You got to do what you can. You foul him if you need to, but you can't just give up the bucket. But like, oh, Shaq's getting the ball. All right, let's just move out of the way. Let's just give Shaq the easy two. Nah, at least make him work for it and foul him if you need to, but you can't just give up the easy bucket there. Man.
See, now they definitely got to do Takeshita versus Hangman. Do it.
We'll see.
Do it.
We'll see. What do you think of if they have AJ Lee? Do you have her appear before Wrestle Palooza? Like, you announce it. You announce you have her. You know she's there, but you don't do her appearance until Wrestle Palooza.
I mean, there is an argument that that's the right way to do it, because you don't want to basically be like, oh, hey guys, you're gonna pay this amount of money to see AJ Lee wrestle, but here she is on a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown, just so you can know, oh, she's coming for Wrestle Palooza. There's an argument to be made that the better thing to do is to keep her off, have Punk tease it, basically treat this like the first dance. And just keep making the hints, keep making the teases to AJ Lee, and Punk's got a partner. You know who it is. You know she's gonna light it up, and I'm coming to Wrestle Palooza, and we're gonna take care of business, and we're gonna make Seth and Becky pay. Like, he can cut a whole bunch of promos like that. You can have Becky make the allusions to it without actually saying it. You could have Seth do that as well. I think there's a way to work it out where you could do it that way. I assume though that WWE is going to do it their way, which is maybe you save the AJ interacting with anybody till after a Wrestle Palooza. Then you can do a AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch matchup in the future, maybe at Perth or at Survivor Series at the end of the year. Like maybe this is not just a one off for AJ Lee, and you could do more stuff with her where you could have her in the crowd, maybe like in the skybox in Chicago, and you're gonna have Punk like pleading with her to come out of retirement, and all she does is give him the nod because so we never hear from her, but now the next time you have to see her is WrestlePalooza. I think that's probably the balanced way WWE would do it, where she's in the crowd, you see her that way, but you don't actually see her step into a ring until WrestlePalooza.
I wouldn't have her on TV at
I'm
all.
me either, but I think that WWE can't control themselves sometimes, and they won't do it the first dance way.
And we talked a little bit about yesterday, and they held off on Cody. They kind of made allusions to Cody, but he obviously wasn't on the show until WrestleMania and when he was Seth's opponent. They like doing surprises. They haven't really had the opportunity to do anything like this in the past because obviously when Punk came back, it was like teased, but they also shut it down to where like yeah we're teasing it but like we actually don't have him until they did have him at the end of it with it. They teased Orton. I mean they've kind of announced Orton. Yeah, they said that.
Yeah, they basically announced it was Orton because I think that Cody did the promo for the final member of the team, and then they just announced it.
They said he hears voices. I don't remember if they flat out. Did they just flat out announce it was Orton? Because remember there was they did the whole backstage thing in Survivor Series as well of like, oh, is he here? And they teased it a little bit, and then of course Punk came to fruition. Anyway, I think they can hold off on like having her on TV. I'll give them some credit in that I think they can do just teases. They might announce the match. Honestly, they might flat out be like, it is CM Punk and AJ Lee against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. They might put the graphic up and everything to get people excited for it. But I don't think you're going to get AJ on TV until WrestlePalooza. I think if you want to see that, if you want to hear the theme for the first time, if you want to see her for the first time, you got to watch WrestlePalooza. Maybe it's teased and like, okay, she is coming. Maybe it's flat out announced and it's like, you will know she will be there, but you ain't getting that theme and that appearance until WrestlePalooza, on top of obviously the match. And we'll see how they play it. Chicago will be a big one this Friday of where they're going to go. It's very possible that Rhea Ripley is just the person on Friday, and they don't have AJ at all, which would be a big misfire. Be a pretty big misfire.
So I had to make sure I wasn't bugging. So I have here WWE.com. This is the match description for the men's War Games in 2023, and it says, and I quote, as Raw was set to conclude 5 days before Survivor Series War Games, Rhodes revealed that Randy Orton will join their team in the Vicious structure. So, yeah, I was right. Yeah, he teases it, but then they officially announce it on the website right after.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Anything else from Becky and Punk that you would like to touch on?
Great performances by both. I thought that this was a good night overall for the Vision. I thought the Vision were a highlight of the show, which I haven't always said, especially when Seth Rollins is a part of the Vision. I will still say that Seth Rollins is the worst part of the Vision. I think that every other part of the Vision is much more entertaining when he's not around, but he's here. He's a part of the team.
He's the champ.
He's the champ.
He's supposed to be the biggest part of the team.
Like, it's great to have him. Yeah, cool. But yeah, Seth's here. He's also here. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they had a good night, actually picking up a win clean in the main event. I was worried at one point during the main event. I really thought, I was like, oh no, are they gonna end in a DQ and I'm gonna have to talk about Raw alone? When the fight went to ringside, I was like, I was worried. I was like, oh man, they're gonna throw this out. It's gonna be a double disqualification.
They've been on the best behavior since I implemented my rule. They're like, all right,
Yeah.
fine, we gotta at least have these match endings. Interference, we can do interference. Just don't end it in DQ. That's all I'm asking. I don't feel like I'm asking for a whole lot, honestly. Clearly, I'm not, because you can do it, because they've done it for 3 straight weeks now. So they know it's possible. They just want to be assholes for that 4-week run where every match was a DQ or every main event.
You just had to challenge them. They just needed you to challenge them.
Challenge them to do other good stuff. You know, challenge them to advance this El Grande Americano storyline. How does he keep getting away with putting the metal plate in his mask? Has no one like figured this out? They've been doing this bit since April.
But like, why couldn't he, like, I understand, oh, because we need the fans to see him putting the metal in his mask. But do you know how foolish you made AJ Styles look?
Right, just show up.
AJ Styles he's trying to get up, but then he had to sell some more because he still didn't have the metal in his mask. Oh man, it was like, and then I was like, y'all ruined it. What was a pretty good matchup on the show too. Probably the best match on the show when it comes to crowd heat, because that crowd loves AJ Styles.
You're interfering in the match. You can just show up with the metal in your mask. You don't need to load it up in there because the referee's not checking for you before the match. People understand by now, if he does the little headbutt gimmick, oh, he's probably got the metal in his mat. We've seen him do this enough. And if they don't understand, the announcers can fill you in on, like, well, obviously he had the metal. And then Wade Barrett be like, we don't know that, Cole. And, you know, they can do that whole gimmick. But very dumb that they keep just showing him loading it. AJ looks dumb. They should have just done a title change here. Honestly, that crowd was so hot.
Yo,
AJ. I would not have minded it.
Would have went nuclear if AJ Styles won the Intercontinental title. I'm with you. I would have made the change there. Like, instead of giving them the Sammy title change on SmackDown, you should have gave them the AJ title change on this show. And you know, I'm saying that as someone who is a Solo fan, to be fair, but I'm also a Dom fan. But I just think that this was the right time for AJ Styles to win the title after chasing it for how many months? It's been like 3-4 months. He's been chasing the Intercontinental Championship. He should have won it here and then defended it against El Grande Americano. It does make sense, El Grande Americano getting involved after a couple of weeks of seeing him chatting with Dominic. That was his backup plan if he couldn't get help from the Judgment Day. So that made sense. All of it made sense. I just think that the right decision was AJ getting the win.
Yeah, they should have just called an audible, but Triple H doesn't know how to hit the high points on some of these things, you know?
No.
You're not going to get a hotter crowd than that for AJ Styles. You're just not.
You're trying to have Santana win in Lowell, Massachusetts.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if AJ's going to, you know, even going to win the title at this point.
Me either. I think he's going to move on to the Americano feud.
Yeah. Which, okay. And Dominic's probably going to win the Mega Championship next weekend. Oh, that's what's next weekend as well, is Worlds Collide.
We do have something next weekend.
Is there a TV show next weekend as well? Are they
is Victor Urel going head to head with that? That's not wise. I wouldn't call that smart.
Well, Victory Road was announced first, I assume.
Oh no, it's on September 26th. Victory Road.
Oh, okay. That's still.
So it's basically the Friday before No Mercy. So it's basically a double shot. It's a two night NXT PLE.
That's still unfortunate. Yeah, Worlds Collide's next weekend, along with the Canelo and Terrence Crawford fight, which I'm actually looking forward to. It'd be a nice break
Yeah,
from
I was kind of annoyed
wrestling.
at how many times they were promoting that on my wrestling
I,
shows.
yeah, well, it's a big fight, you know? It's a big fight.
For y'all, I guess.
I'm not like the
Not
biggest
me.
boxing fan, but I can understand that it's a big fight out there. Yeah, WWE counter programming themselves next Friday. No, I think Worlds Collides later, isn't it?
Yeah, Worlds Collide is at 10 p.m.
Yeah, they're not counter
Eastern.
programming shit. They're just giving you more wrestling, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then what time does the Canelo fight is on Saturday, right?
It's on Saturday, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
they
so yeah.
won't get into the ring until midnight, so
It's their big TKO weekend in Las Vegas.
yeah. Yeah, that's
They're
the
gonna
reason why
broker a
Worlds
deal.
Collide.
They're gonna broker a deal, and we're gonna hear the announcement probably next week. 5 years straight in Las Vegas of WrestleMania. 5 years. The next 5 years in Las Vegas. A residency. A
Like,
WrestleMania residency.
you say it partially joking, but like I can also just see it if they just do a
See it.
WrestleMania residency. They love that venue. It's a nice venue. And if they get the money from them, that's what it comes down to, right? It's like
Yeah.
if Vegas ponies up all that money to keep hosting WrestleMania, of course they're going to do it. That's essentially what happened this year because they announced New Orleans and then it was, oh, wait a second. Actually, we're going to Vegas. Why? Well,
WrestleMania, I mean, Vegas is just going to use like half the money they made off of this year's Mania. And they're gonna pay off the residency for the next 5 years, and they're gonna make like 10 times that amount.
all right, this is very shitty, and they should not do this. And I apologize in advance for putting this out into the universe. But you know how they announced New Orleans, and then they pulled it, and then they went to Vegas. What if they fake announce the WrestleMania locations, and then pull it to basically fuck over indie companies? Like, is that possible? Because indie companies might book like a
but
venue.
you have to explain how that benefits them.
Well, I don't know if it does, but they don't care
It
about
doesn't.
that.
It doesn't. Yes, it does. They do care about that. Most of the moves that they do is to benefit themselves, regardless of how baffling
It
some of their
benefits them because it
decisions.
fucks over the indie companies, and then they don't have
But
to worry about
the
these
indie
companies.
companies are not affecting them at all.
I don't think
They
they
don't
like
care
all
about
these
the.
indie
They,
companies.
yeah, they don't care about all those indie companies. They're partner. They're friends, and they send their wrestlers to the number one indie company in the world right now. Like they're sending their wrestlers over there.
Eh. Again, it's not a good idea. I don't suggest it. But I also think like they're petty and they just would do shit for the sake of doing shit.
They should announce the wrong date and location,
Oh.
and then move it to the weekend of Dynasty.
Oh.
And have WrestleMania go head to head with
Oh.
Dynasty. After AEW announces
Now we're
Dynasty, they
thinking.
just announce WrestleMania in the same city that same weekend, same time and everything.
Now we're thinking. Or Revolution if they need to, depending on.
If they really, that's switching it up because I'm not like saying going against Dynasty. That's not switching up their time frame because they've shown they will do any weekend in April. That's really switching up the time frame though because Revolution is usually at the beginning of March, so that's drastically changing their calendar.
Yeah. I mean, WrestleMania's always been end of March. There was some WrestleManias that were like
Yeah.
early March.
Like mid March, I think it's the earliest I've ever seen a WrestleMania.
And they'll just announce Elimination Chamber for Dynasty or for Revolution weekend.
Yeah, for Revolution, they'll probably be like, "Yeah, we're doing Elimination Chamber in California."
See,
Yeah,
they
right
like
across the street.
announcing. They like announcing all their stuff early in advance to where AEW can plan around them. But the ESPN chairman was like, WWE will work with us on scheduling because we might have events here, and then they'll move some events to accommodate us and everything. Obviously, with Wrestle Palooza, they can announce stuff a month out and it be okay. So I wouldn't. With WrestleMania, you kind of got to give people a heads up because that's a big ticket travel
Yeah.
event to where, and that's why I don't think they could do the announce one city and then later on announce another city. It's because people are
No,
playing.
no,
You certainly can't put tickets on the
what they
TV.
would do is announce a Road to WrestleMania tour, and they'll already have those dates open, and everybody will be confused because they will be like, "Why is this like one random house show or these two random house shows on a Saturday and Sunday in a stadium?" Like, why would they book a stadium for a live event? And then just out of nowhere, they're like, no, that's actually WrestleMania. It's a WrestleMania in disguise campaign.
Imagine paying like $80,000 for a live event stadium show, though.
That would be awesome. Live event. You paid all this money, and it's a live event stadium show.
Yeah. Logistically, I don't think they could pull off the let's announce one venue and then switch it up. Like that was almost a nightmare for the New Orleans going to Vegas, but they gave everybody kind of enough heads up to where it's like, all right, fine. This is still stupid, but at least you gave us enough heads up. They're just gonna add more PLEs to their calendar next year. They'll do their own schedule, and then they'll just announce random PLEs on the schedule next year. It's like, oh, Elimination Chamber is scheduled for March 1st. Wait, Dynasty is scheduled for March 7th. Hey, here's WWE March Madness. They'll get copyright struck on that one. For March 7th, though.
March
Here we
Mayhem.
Go,
it's March Mayhem.
There we go. March Mayhem on March 7th for WWE running against Revolution with everything. And WWE will possibly do that. All right, our guest is here. If he is ready, he can give me a thumbs up in the backstage area. All right, folks, he's been on the show before. He is back. He is challenging for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship at Fightland. That is on September 13th in Texas. He is the one, the only Donovan Dijak. Donovan, how you doing today?
I am doing excellent. How are you?
Doing well. We appreciate you joining us here today.
Yes.
All right. Sure. Last time we kind of saw you on MLW, you I think murdered Cruel. Is that have you been?
Unfortunately, he's still alive. Yeah.
Oh, he's still alive. Okay. You tossed him over the side of a building, though.
Well, he deserved it. So, and obviously, it wasn't quite enough because once I, checked over the edge to make sure that the murder was completed and successful, it unfortunately was not. He had gotten up and walked away, as most Jason Voorhees type characters do when you attempt to murder them. They get up and walk away. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to continue to try to end the existence of the atrocity Cruel. But it'll be a fun and exciting sort of venture for me to figure out what it's going to take to successfully complete the murder.
Like, we love a good murder on this show.
Who doesn't really? It's kind of one of the more exciting things in the world of professional wrestling, in my opinion.
Big advocate of more murder in wrestling here on this show.
Never good enough.
I like Cruel. Cruel's been on the program before. He's nice to us. We don't have any issues with him. I'm all for.
Yeah, no. I haven't had many pleasant interactions with him, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to try to kill him again.
Well, best of luck trying to murder. But you also got Matt Riddle at Fightland. I mean, your attention is divided here. How you dealing with Riddle on one hand, and then Cruel's got his cash-in shot as well. So you gotta watch your back here.
While I'm distracted a bit with trying to unalive Cruel, Matt Riddle, I simply need to defeat and pin him to the mat or make him submit. So it's actually a much simpler task that not having to kill a man. So yeah, I think that this is our third matchup. There's a lot of controversy online because people don't know how to count. But yeah, this is actually the third matchup. I think the issue with it comes from a bit of a mistake that was made last match. So the show that you're referring to, where Cruel and I had all of these issues, there was an announced match between myself and Matt Riddle, and I think that was billed as the second, which was inaccurate. That should have been billed as the third. So I think that kind of set people's counting off track, because now this one was announced as the third matchup, which it is. That's accurate, because Riddle and I have faced twice in MLW. I mean, we've faced 1,000 times across all sorts of different companies, but in terms of MLW specifically, this will be our third matchup. And yeah, for some reason that one was billed as the number 2 matchup, which it wasn't. It was the third, but it obviously never happened. And then people are like, what's going on? The second match never happened. The second match did happen. That was inaccurately labeled. So now this one as the third is accurately labeled, but who's counting, right? Besides me.
Yeah. I'm gonna have MLW's back. They meant the second for the MLW Heavyweight Championship. That's what they.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I talked to you before your first title shot at the MLW Heavyweight Championship against Matt Riddle. What did you learn from that matchup with Riddle? I know you faced Riddle dozens, plenty of times in various promotions, but what did you learn from that match, particularly that's going to help you in this upcoming match at Fightland?
I learned that he is susceptible. He's a human being, and he has flaws and mistakes and holes in his game, just like everybody else, just like I do. And I was able to nearly capitalize and exploit that. Unfortunately, there was some interference by his filthy bro Tom Lawler. Tom is dealing with a lot right now, though. I think he recently had surgery. I don't know if he's going to be physically able to be out there. Personally, I'm hoping not, because Tom's a real piece of shit. So yeah, hopefully he's not floating around out there, going to try and pull the ref again and cost me the championship one more time. But if he is out there, I have some backup plans of my own. So yeah, I'm prepared on a lot of fronts. And I'm going to execute the plan just as I did last time, and it's going to be glorious when I become the rightful MLW World Heavyweight Champion.
You don't have to spoil your backup plans, but you are teammates with Bishop Dyer and the Skyscrapers, which fantastic team.
That's my backup.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Listen, no spoiler necessary. Bishop Dyer is my backup. He is my tag team partner, and he is, along with me, one of the biggest men on the roster. Fortunately, I mean the reality of the current MLW rosters, we're probably the largest physically roster in all of professional wrestling. So if you like big men battles, you've come to the right place. But he certainly has my back. Saint Laurent is the brains of the operation, and both of us are the brawn of the operation. We have each other's backs in every circumstance. So yeah, he's definitely going to be available for ass kickings as necessary.
And good backup plan too. Tom Lawler, in his current condition, I don't know how well he is moving, but obviously in his physical prime, MMA fighter, UFC fighter. Bishop over here, Gold Gloves boxer, does jiu-jitsu tournaments, is tapping out people in jiu-jitsu tournaments all the time now. So the Skyscrapers team, talk to us a little bit more about getting that team together and using the name the Skyscrapers. I was a big fan of Sid and Dan Spivey back in the day, the original Skyscrapers.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan. And don't forget me and Mark Callis as well. So yeah, the obviously the design of the team boils down to Saint Laurent and Court Bauer. So shout out to them for having the vision and the opportunity to make the concept a reality. I'm all for it. I've known I've known Bishop for a very long time. He's a tremendous human being. He's an unbelievable competitor, very legitimate backgrounds in a number of different circumstances. So yeah, I couldn't ask for anybody else who's of similar height and stature to me to be able to tag team with. I think we've won. We're 1-0 as a tag team with a major championship under our belts now, and it's going to continue to trend in that direction because he's an unbelievable competitor, as am I, and I think that we both have our sights set on continuing to impress everybody throughout the entirety of the professional wrestling landscape.
So besides your, of course, eye-catching size of the skyscrapers, what is kind of the one trait between you and Dyer that kind of will make you dominant MLW tag team champions?
I think it's sort of our variety, right? Even though we're both 6'8", 270 pounds, give or take an inch or 10 or 20 pounds or whatever we vary in terms of billing and size. We're relatively similar in size and stature, but in terms of our approach to in-ring professional wrestling, there's a lot of variety there, right? Whereas he's a real hard-nosed sort of, like you mentioned, he's an unbelievable grappler and an unbelievable striker. He's got a Golden Gloves background. He's won multiple Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, and I bring a high-flying aspect to it. I don't know if you saw the clips, but I can still do 38 years old. It's pretty damn good. I can still do a springboard tornillo. I have all sorts of. I secured the tag team championships with a moonsault off the top ropes after he dropped the opponent with the Death Valley driver. So yeah, it's coming at you from all angles, right? We're not just a one-dimensional. Here we are. We're tall, and we're gonna punch you in the face. Although we can both punch you in the face, but there's a dynamic, there's a variety to it, which I think is completely unparalleled. Not just in professional wrestling today, right? Because we're definitely the tallest tag team in the world right now. But in terms of the entire history of professional wrestling, sure, there's been tag teams that are as tall as us, but there's never been anybody as dynamic as us.
I was going to ask about the clip and then going to CMLL and competing in the Grand Prix. Yeah, your experience at CMLL and in this Grand Prix match, which lasted 82 minutes.
It's very long. Right? Yeah, no, tremendous experience. CMLL is one of the top professional wrestling companies in the world. It's I was actually talking to TJP about this because he and I we did a long loop together. I did 6 shows over the course of 9 days, I think, and he was on all of those with me. We even tagged once together and picked up a victory there, which was nice. CMLL is kind of like, they're kind of frozen in time in like a really good way, in that it's a real throwback to like 70s, 80s, 90s professional wrestling, where you're just doing these long tours and you hit these towns, and the towns themselves, they're so I mean, isolated is the wrong term, but they're so like invested in their town, right? So they're selling out these places just every single week, which is completely unheard of in the world of professional wrestling in its present state. But back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, which, by the way, all of these venues were around then, so they've been running these towns for decades and decades, which is probably why it's built up sort of this unique dynamic where these people have just been going to Lucha Libre shows just generationally. They grew up going to these venues every single week, and now as adults they continue to do it. They bring their children. It becomes this infectious sort of system, and it's unbelievable to attend these shows. I mean, the crowds are we were sold out basically every night. Arena Mexico, multiple times per month they're selling out Arena Mexico. People are hanging from the rafters, literally. So it's a wild atmosphere. It's the decibel level is through the roof. You mentioned the Grand Prix match, which was unbelievable. It's such a wonderful dynamic to be around. I already can't wait to go back. We have multiple dates lined up. I know, as you mentioned, don't know if you mentioned this part, but Bishop is making his Mexico debut under the CMLL umbrella as well. So I'm super excited for him and for that opportunity. Hopefully he and I have some matching dates coming up so we can continue to progress our tag team aspirations across the world, because if you want to wrestle in Mexico, CMLL is definitely the place to do so.
Yeah, I know you're like a student of the game, so like, and to kind of be firsthand for what's going on in CMLL must be like amazing as someone who's been a part of wrestling, had that love for wrestling for so long. Who is kind of like the one person from your time, spending so many shows in Mexico, who's the one person from the CMLL roster that has impressed you the most over your time this year?
That's a great question. Like the easy answer is Mystico, just because he has so much success there. But I'm going to take a different approach, and I'm going to go with a guy whose name is Zendoken Jr. He's been incredibly impressive to me. Just super young, big kid, especially for luchadors, which are historically high flying types. He does plenty of high flying, but he's just like a bigger sized luchador, which to me is always impressive and sort of speaks to me and my style as well. But he and I have had the multiple opportunities, including that Grand Prix matchup, to wrestle each other. And I think that he has all the promise in the world. He's really someone that you want to keep your eye on, because I think he has a bright future in this business.
WWE filed to trademark, this is in August, the slapjack. And you posted a photo of you. This is the slapjack mask, right?
What's that?
This is the slapjack. That's not the T-bar mask. This is the slapjack mask.
Oh, are you showing the picture that I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I assume it's the one where I'm doing this. My
Yes.
daughter took that picture.
It's a good photo.
No, she's a great for 5 years old. Yeah, that's the slapjack mask. Why do I have that?
Yeah, that was my question. Why do you have it?
So I actually don't have a T-bar mask. I had a T-bar mask, and I sent it to NXT when I got moved down to NXT. If you remember the first vignette that we ran, which I think was Halloween Havoc 2022, there was an anonymous vignette where it was like they like dropped a mask into a burning fire in a bin or something, in like a trash can. So I remember they decided to run that vignette like 3 days before that event, and I live in New England, so I'm not in the Orlando area, so I had to like overnight FedEx them the mask, and they were like, "Are you okay if we burn this?" And I was like, "Please do." So I don't have one. I think that Mason maybe has one, just because we were all friends with Jason Baker, who's the WWE mask maker, and he's just tremendous, just like one of the greatest assets that company has. Tremendous human being too, and they had like a bunch of spares, so they sent them to him for some reason. So I think he has a bunch of them. I don't. The only one I have is the slapjack mask, because I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I remember that Pretty Deadly somehow ended up with the slapjack mask, because I think they're friends with Shane, and I think he sent them the mask to like put in the background of a shot, or maybe they were doing like what was there I don't remember this very well, but I have a very hazy picture of Pretty Deadly was doing like a Halloween, like we're stuck in a haunted house type thing. Maybe that happened, something like that, and they wanted to plant the slapjack mask in the back of the vignette as like a little Easter egg, but it wasn't approved. Yes, so they were just like, "Oh, we have this slapjack mask, can you give it back to Shane?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll see Shane." And I never see Shane. Shane lives in even if I did see Shane, I'm not giving him the mask back. I think it's too much fun to have a slapjack. But yeah, I just have it. I had to go. I saw the somebody tagged me in like the news that WWE secured the trademark, and I was like, "Ooh, this will." I'm in my mind, I was like, I think I have that mask somewhere, so I could just do like a Jim Carrey the Mask.
That was going to be kind of my follow. It looks like when you put it on, it's just going to possess you there.
It does.
And...
It does. Yeah, you don't want to mess around with that mask. You'll turn into Slapjack, and you'll have to go back to your home planet.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're speaking of the Slapjack and T-Bar, you're someone that has had their name change a few times. You went from Donovan Dijak to Donovan Dijakovic, and then the T-Bar change. What was kind of the biggest?
My first WWE name was
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
On television. Yeah.
So tell us kind of like what's the biggest positive or negative you can get from positive and negative you can get from like a name change? Like, is it kind of like what is kind of like the biggest thing that you got from getting your name changed so many different times? And what's kind of like the most difficult obstacle that you had with the name changes?
I mean, everything has pros and cons, right? I always tried to view it from a positive standpoint, right? Like every name change is an opportunity for reinvention, right? So like I started off on the indies as Dijak, and then but I started off on the indies in 2013, which was like the peak of Ryback, if you remember. He was like main eventing WWE pay-per-views at the time. So I was like, I don't want to be Dijak if there's a Ryback. So, I don't want to be like the same thing as another guy. Even though Dijak's my real name, that's not his real name. But or maybe it is now.
And did he change it? I feel like he changed it.
I think he did.
Well, nobody keeps up with him. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, so it was actually a friend of mine who was a referee for Chaotic Wrestling for a long time. He helped book and produce as well. His name is Mike Crockett, who came up with the name Donovan and pitched it to me. And I said, yeah, it sounds like a great name. So we went with Donovan Dijak from 2013 to 2017, which was when they decided to use my shoot name on NXT. Well, no, I don't think. Well, I was on house shows and stuff like Coconut Loops and stuff in 2017. I didn't start on NXT television until the beginning of 2018, and that was the first time on TV they debuted the name Chris Dijak, which again I wasn't thrilled about. It's just my real name, right? They didn't even ask. They're just like, "Here's your name," so that's what we're going to use. I wasn't thrilled about it just because I don't like the name Chris as a professional wrestling name for me specifically, because to me, it's like when the lights hit and the music hits and I walk through the curtain, the job isn't to be myself, right? Like Chris is like the kid who went to school and collected Pokemon cards, and like I'm a good father to my kids and I love my wife and stuff. Like that's not who I am when I walk through the curtain. I don't want people to see that person, right? That's not most of the time I'm a bad guy. So like it's not, oh, he loves his kids. It's not, that's not a deplorable human being. So so it's harder to sort of put on that figurative mask at that point. If I'm using my real name, but that's the hand I was dealt. So I tried to make it work as best I could, but we pretty quickly came up with Dominik Dijakovic, which I thought was a great name. And I thought it was interesting and unique. The only part about it that I didn't love was that it was so many syllables. I think that's like 7 syllables, which is unheard of in WWE. There's nobody with that many syllables in their like proper first and last name. Like if you have a big moniker like the Unbelievable One or so, whatever, and then your name becomes longer. But in terms of just a first and last name, I think I probably had the most syllables out of anybody on the entire roster. So in my mind, I was like, "There's no way this name lasts. Like they're gonna take away the first name, or they're gonna take away this last name, or whatever. Something is going to happen." And I was right. It got much shorter and became like the least amount of letters in all of WWE. When in 2020, I got changed to T-Bar, which was all caps. And I heard through the grapevine that was a Vince call and that he thought it was like an acronym for "That Boy Ain't Right" or something like that.
Wait, what? That's awesome.
I not confirmed. He never told me that, but that's what they said in the production meeting or something like that. I don't know. I think Jerry Lawler said it on commentary one of the first nights too, and it did not hit or stick or anything in that capacity. But yeah, that's I guess what T-Bar stood for in some capacity. And again, my job is now and was at that time to make it work, right? If I'm given something, my job is to make it work as best I can. So I tried to make T-Bar work as best I could. I tried to give the letters meaning. T stands for tyrant. I tried to brand myself as like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I was, you bring all sorts of ideas and concepts to the table, but it's an uphill battle, right? It's kind of an odd name. I think people heard that and they were like, "What on earth is T-Bar?" I think the most common term for like a T-bar is like a machine that you do a row with. So people were like, "Are you a rowing machine?" I don't know. Yeah, I tried to make T-Bar work as best as I could until 2022, like we mentioned already.
Yeah.
And that's when, for the first time in WWE, they sat down and were like, "What do you want to be called?" And I was like, "Thank you for asking. I'd love to be just Dijak again," because at this point now it's, obviously 9 years later, Ryback's out of the picture for the most part, in a professional wrestling landscape anyway. So yeah, then we were able to go with Dijak from 2022 until 2024, and then once I left WWE, there was some question in my head as to whether legally I could use Dijak, and I said, you know what, I'm going back to the Indies. I'm going back to my roots. I want to remind people what Donovan Dijak is all about. It felt like it made sense, and I also didn't want to get hit with a lawsuit or a cease and desist or whatever. So I said, you know what, this works and this covers my ass on all fronts. So I circled back to Donovan Dijak, and that's where we stand today.
We have a regular in our chat asking when the next episode of TEW with MXM and Damo will be.
Well, that's on them, man. Probably not for a long time. Their hands are so busy in so many different things. I know that they still stream constantly. They do AEW games. They do all sorts of content creation. So they're busy as hell. They being MXM in AEW. For the 99.9% of people listening to this who have no idea what you're talking about, TEW is a
No, we love TEW here.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
TEW is a stream that I used to do with MXM, the Maximum Male Models, Mansoor and Mason, who are good friends of mine. We talk every single day. But yeah, in terms of the actual streaming element of it, I think they're very busy with all the content creation that they do with other stuff, so they don't have time to dick around with me. Because TEW is like a fantasy booking thing where we all book our own different federations and sort of compete against one another. Or I think in this inclination, we're working together. Me with my eternal wisdom, my booking style is a very like over the top late 90s, early 2000s, like Vince McMahon type, where I don't care about wrestling at all. I want the most spectacle possible. So like Goldberg is constantly my champion, and he's like blowing up helicopters and propelling down. That's the most outrageous shit you've ever heard in your life. But that's like, which is funny because me as a professional wrestler, I'm such a in-ring like purist. Like I'd love nothing more than like a good like 5-star technical match and stuff like that. Well, maybe not technical, but like in terms of like I love the in-ring product, but as a booker, I'm the exact opposite. I couldn't care less about the in-ring product.
We gotta get you on the Ring of Hallucinations booking team.
Enlighten me. I don't know what that is.
Oh, this is the promotion we've essentially created here. At some point, Tony Khan is going to give me the pencil to ROH, and I'm going to rebrand it as Ring of Hallucinations, where it's less about wrestling and more about like drugs and gambling and things like that. So there's not going to be a ton of wrestling. It's going to be, like we're going to have a Tony D'Angelo character. He's going to be laundering money and everything. All the fans we're going to pass out bags with not drugs, but drugs. So they can take that during the show. We have a blindfold match, but the crowd is actually in blindfold, so they're just like reacting to the scenery essentially.
To the sounds.
I'll say this. There is room in the professional wrestling landscape for a like alternative universe promotion, right?
Yeah.
People have tried it somewhat successfully in the back. Like this is like the Chikaras of the world, and even the lucha undergrounds of the world to a bit of a lesser extent. It obviously doesn't have like super mainstream appeal as much as like a here's some guys fighting over championships type promotion does. But I think as an alternative, I think it really has legs if someone could really financially back it and get behind it, because it does so well. I'm lucky on the indies. I get to sort of sample with a lot of this. I've got to, anytime I get to play a character who's anyone besides Donovan Dijak or some incarnation of myself, it's such a joy for me, right? I have a local promotion I work for called Rad Pro Wrestling, where I get to play this like Russian defector called Vocal Milica or something like that. I got to play Johnny Cage in Chicago on a quasi Mortal Kombat cosplay show. And the crowd eats that stuff up. They love it because it's so different and so unique. And we as performers, we love that opportunity as well. So I think that, like, if I had to guess, if there's ever going to be another major promotion in the United States, I think it might be something like that. Because like how many alternatives of like the same, like, we're sort of WWE, like how many can there be of like, we're just guys and we're trying to win the championship? Like, yeah, that's awesome. And it obviously you have these over the top characters and it's incredibly well received, but like, you can only do it so many times before it's like, oh, you're, you know, like how many different inclinations of the same thing can you do? So, in my opinion, it's probably about 2, right? So once you get past 2, it's like, now we're in the now you're the C show, now you're the D show, right? Do you really want that? So I think if something's going to really take off, it might want to take a different approach, right, in terms of what they're presenting as a product. So that's my opinion anyway, and I think I think there's opportunity to do that. So that might be cool one day.
We got ideas here on this show for over the top stuff.
Ring of Hallucinations is definitely
drugs and murder. That's what we're all about.
Well, I assume hallucinatory drugs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want like a bunch of guys on like Soma is like,
right. You know, we're gonna.
That's the real.
That's the real drugs. Yeah.
You don't want to show that. People are like, you only see that on Dark Side of the Ring. You don't want to.
See, our pure rules match is actually like, oh, you're not gonna do your drugs before the match. You're not going to take your hallucinogens.
Nobody's high in the pure rules.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah,
everybody's so
champion. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll
there we go. We got a signee. We got Dijak as a signee for Ring of Hallucinations.
He's all hallucinating.
Yeah, sounds good.
Dijak, we appreciate you joining us here today. Let everybody know where they can find you at and everything you got coming up.
Sure, yeah. So all my socials and stuff, everything is at Dijak FYE. FYE stands for Feast Your Eyes, not the record company or whatever. In terms of what I'm doing, the biggest shows I work for currently are MLW. I think you mentioned, is it September 13th?
13th, yep.
Yeah, Saturday, September 13th at Fightland. I don't know if it's sold out or not yet, but it will be sold out. So if it's not, you're very lucky. Go get your tickets right now. It's in the Dallas, Texas area. I don't think it's Dallas exactly, but it's right around the Dallas, Texas area. So yeah, go grab those. Keep your eyes peeled for my CMLL appearances coming up. I've got a few more of those coming up, and they haven't been announced yet, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, if you want to check me out or train with me and learn with me, I'm an instructor at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, which is in North Andover, Massachusetts. I train there almost every Wednesday night, unless I'm in Mexico. So yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night. That is anyprowrestling.com. And if you want to learn with me anywhere in the world, you can go to dijakwrestling.com. That's my online training courses that I do live and in person. So yeah, that's where you can find me, dijakwrestling.com for that.
There you go. We appreciate it, Dijak. Good luck against Riddle at Fightland.
Yes,
we'll be in touch about Ring of Hallucinations.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to need at least $1.8 million. So.
Oh well, we'll pay you in drugs. That's how we finance this thing.
See, I told you, I'll make a great champion.
Thank you, Dijak.
Thank you, Dijak. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. There we
that
go,
was great.
everybody. Donovan Dijak. MLW Fightland is challenging Matt Riddle for the world title at Fightland on September 13th. We're getting this idea off the ground, SP3. We're getting this idea off the ground. We got Dijak on the team. Joey Janela is going to be on the team once I formally pitch it to him after his idea I saw over the weekend. We'll get more people involved with this. Oh, it is the money.
You're gonna be booking all these people, and then they show up, and you're like, can't even run a show.
Here's the thing: is like, obviously the money does play a big aspect in all this, and I certainly don't have any type of money. That's why I want Tony to just give me the ROH pencil. Let me do what I want with it. Tony just needs to be the backer of all of this thing. I think you'll find a lot of wrestlers are like Dijak, and like they kind of just want to do some non-serious stuff a lot of times. Like they are creative people. And we see it with MXM Collection. You know, he mentioned them in TW. Like all these people are like creative people, and they have a ton of ideas to get out there. I'm not saying all their ideas are great. None of these ideas we pitch on here are great, but they have just a lot of creativity and a lot of ideas that it's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we like do things like this? Look at Speedball. Speedball is like great wrestler, puts on a classic match every time he's in the ring, but then he goes out there and does like silly shit on his shows where he's, you know, doing Dance Dance Revolution in Connect 4 fights and everything. Like they want to get that creative energy out there in a different way. So I actually think, kind of like Dijak was saying, like I actually think this idea has some legs to it to where people would like want to be involved and want to like be like, oh, this sounds really fun. Like I would love to do this, but obviously like I gotta have thousands of dollars to actually pull this off, and I ain't got that kind of money. So that's where the plans fall short. Yeah.
Look at Kenny Omega, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, who's put on some of the greatest matches ever, whether it be against Okada or Ospreay or Naito or Tanahashi. And then you turn around and you see his stuff from DDT, and he's wrestling a blow-up doll or a 9-year-old girl. It's like, yeah, these wrestlers, no matter like what level they're at, best in the world, one of the kind of lower end guys, or, you know, middle of the pack, all-time great type of guys, they all want to have some fun when they get into professional wrestling and need that little escape again. And sometimes they have to go to like these alternative promotions who have like off the wall characters and stuff like that. Like one of the ones that is still running on the independent scene, at least, is Hood Slam. I remember going to my first Hood Slam. I felt like I was going to a college party that just had wrestling involved in it. It had a wrestling ring at the bottom of it. It was like, and then you have guys like the Stoner Brothers, and you have clown characters and stuff like that. So like, yeah, there's always going to be a place for alternatives in pro wrestling.
Yeah. We just gotta have the financial backing. That's all we need. You know, we'll get there. Just give me the pencil, Tony. Just be like, all right, you know what? Do your own thing. You can run Bandito and Hechicero and Athena and Mina on AEW television. Do all that. Just give me the ROH pencil.
Just give me that. Give me what I want.
What else happened on Raw as we really switch gears to things now?
Well, we talked fully about Becky and Punk, the highlight of the show. We talked about the Vision. Like we said, the whole interaction with Jey Uso and LA Knight to start the show. The Braun Stars, which they have stopped calling them the Brawns. Thank God for that. They interrupted. Then later they got the win over the baby faces in the main event. And then the Vision beat down Jay post-match, hit him with a few tsunamis until Jimmy Uso made a surprise appearance, came out, and Jay pleaded with him. He was like, I need you. I can't do it alone. I was like, yo, the way he's holding him and he's holding his chest, you would have thought this was the ending of Boys in the Hood. Like, it was like, that's how they was trying to make it seem like he got capped. Like he's holding his ribs, but it looked like he's holding like a gunshot and stuff. Like, yeah.
Why did he come out there so late? Why?
Yo, like,
What
why is
time are these
Jay was
Samoans
late?
on? Yeah.
Jay was late on Sunday. Then you turn around on Monday. Jimmy's late. It's like, where the hell do y'all be?
What time are these Samoans working on here? What's going on? He let his brother take a spear. He sees Bronson Reed going up there for the tsunami. Go. Get
Come
out.
out. Come on.
Are they not at the show? Are they not arriving at the show in time?
Are they like, is the backstage area that big? Like he's all the way in the back. Like he got to wait for a golf cart. Like he got to take a cab to get to the gorilla position to come out.
Yeah. I don't know why they take so long, but apparently they're taking forever to get down there. We will get a new Souls reunion. That's fine. It's a good spot. It'll give Jimmy something to do. It'll get Jay out of the kind of title picture for the time being.
And get Jimmy out of the freaking bloodline leftover vortex.
Yeah, hopefully that's just done. But I think Jacob and Solo still got some stuff to do with that.
Yeah, honestly. Unfortunately, I think you're right. That Fatu and Sammy probably still not out of this vortex.
Yeah. We'll see on Friday what else happens with them. We mentioned a couple times on the show, but Stephanie Vaquer and IYO SKY is official for Wrestle Palooza for the vacant Women's World Championship. Kind of saw this coming because Vaquer earned her shot by winning the Evolution Battle Royal. She was supposed to face Naomi at Clash in Paris, and then IYO was supposed to face Naomi on August 11th episode of SmackDown, yes. And that was when Naomi was not cleared, and then we found out a week later she was pregnant. Roxanne wanted to get into the title match because she had penned IYO. It looks like we might get Lyra and Roxanne, or Lyra and Raquel next week. Roxanne also got pinned in the tag team match on Monday.
When she tapped out. She wanted to get pinned, but Asuka said, "Get your ass up and tap out," because there was a little bit of confusion. That finish was a little bit botched, where it looked like she was supposed to take the hip attack, but instead took a spinning heel kick. It looked like she was a little bit loopy at the end. So I hope she's all right. But yeah, the Kabuki Warriors picked up the win, and they continued their storyline with IYO SKY. Before their matchup, IYO came to Asuka and apologized for last week when she went out to help Rhea, which Asuka accepted the apology, but she still was just like, when IYO wanted to come out to help them against the Judgment Day, she was like, "No, you're okay. Unlike Rhea, we don't need your help." And started doing the fake smile and walked away. And then Kyrie tried to work things out with IYO when she walked away, and she would just go, Kyrie, son!" Oh my god, that was hilarious. Kyrie's reaction. Fantastic. Kyrie's reaction was awesome. It was awesome the whole night. So yeah, they got the win. Then later we saw IYO meet up with Nikki Bella and congratulate her and wish her luck on the Wrestle Palooza matchup with Stephanie Vaquer. And then the Kabuki Warriors interrupted that. They basically, Asuka was like, she's not our friend either. She's not her friend either. Telling her you can't hang out with Nikki Bella either. And then told her, we got to win, so we're on track to get back to tag team titles. Then you need to get the Women's World Championship, and we'll be there to help you at Wrestle Palooza. IYO wanted to do it on her own again, but Asuka was just like, she's fed up. She's just like, "No, we're helping you. Like, we don't care what you say. We're helping you." And then finally, we got one last segment with the Kabuki Warriors, with them interrupting Rhea Ripley, who's kind of left out on the cold, left outside looking in on the whole title picture. They interrupt her and basically tell her to stay away from IYO. And Asuka got in her face and started poking her and says that she's not ready for Asuka. I like this new Asuka, I will say. She's one of the more interesting heel characters on the show.
If they knew they were going to do IYO and Stephanie, I question the decision to have Roxanne beat Io, unless Roxanne was going to be added to the match. But then why have Roxanne lose? Whether it was supposed to be submission, pinfall, but why have Roxanne lose this tag team match? Just
or last week against Rhea.
Yeah, just kind of weird positioning here.
It feels like they wanted to speed up the whole slow burn of Asuka, because they were building that before Naomi was announced as pregnant. They were kind of teasing that and kind of slow burning that with the whole Asuka showing a little bit of kind of like frustration and animosity with Io in their backstage segment. Then they kind of like turned on the cooker a little bit more, turned on that spark a little bit more on the week that, you know, Naomi got pulled, and that's when they did the Roxanne and Io matchup. So it feels like WWE made the decision, oh, we need Io to lose this matchup to set up what we want to do with the Asuka and Kabuki Warriors. I'm not saying they needed to do that, but I'm just trying to understand their thinking. They needed Io to lose that matchup to kind of set the dominoes in place for the whole Kabuki Warrior story.
Maybe because of speeding it up, they got things shuffled around, but feels like they should have, like, they knew Naomi was out on that show. You knew Io was supposed to have the title shot. Why even book the Io and Roxanne match? Why not do a tag team match and have Kyrie or Asuka lose that match and not
My
Io?
thinking is when they pull Naomi from that show, they don't know for sure she's pregnant yet. I think they pulled her because something was up, and then she had to go see her doctor to confirm that she was pregnant.
No, that's not true, because Naomi said she found out on Sunday and told them on Monday. So she knew on Sunday.
Well,
So
then WWE is just stupid. I'm trying to help them out here, but yeah, that's just stupid. Then they shouldn't have had, if they had no plans for Roxanne to be inserted in this, or maybe it's a plan for later. Maybe it's they're gonna put the title back on Io, and that's to set up a matchup for Io and Roxanne for the Women's World Championship.
maybe. I think Vaquer's winning the title though. So
I don't think
really?
so.
Okay. Right.
I think there's a reason why they started this whole story with Io and Asuka and Kyrie, and it's probably because this is going to be the title program. They're putting too much focus in spotlight. Like, I feel like if Stephanie Vaquer wins the championship, yeah, she's gonna be fine, but I'm scared that they're gonna just book her like they booked the middle part of Io's title reign, or the middle part of Liv's title reign, or the middle part of Rhea's title reign. They have not done a good job with long-term women's world champions, is what I'm trying to say.
Don't let them wrestle.
Don't. And they haven't been letting Stephanie wrestle since Evolution. So it's just like, don't put the title on someone who's already not wrestling. Let's put the title on someone that they actually will let wrestle.
Well, they're just going to be like Julia, win the title, and then just a bunch of backstage segments afterwards.
No, she got to watch Michin win in 6 seconds on Friday. So
it was a great segment.
Yeah. It was like, give it a big entrance, give her a full entrance, and then just have her lose in 6 seconds. That's cool.
Yeah, that's fine. We have a vanilla fumble from Volub, who writes, "Vanilla fumble.
I'm vanilla, baby."
Is what we call this family, meaning the Usos and Roman. Maybe this is how they low-key settle. Maybe this is how they settle their disagreements. Took the last chicken wing at catering, 2 minutes on the beatdown.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. Like, nah, you were late on my save. I'm gonna be late on your save. Oh,
yep.
You said you were gonna be here at this time. You said you were gonna bring me this. You brought me that. Oh, I'm adding time to this beatdown. I can actually respect that. I can actually respect that. What else happened on Raw? Was that everything? There was
mostly everything. Finn Balor picked up a win against Dragon Lee. Also elsewhere with the Judgment Day, you talked about Dominic Mysterio. He picked up a win over AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. Thanks to El Grande Americano and that crowd being ridiculous for AJ Styles the entire night. And then Penta and the War Raiders picked up a win over the New Day and Grayson Waller in what was a fine matchup. Just fine. Barely an inconvenience. I barely knew you were here type of matchup.
Yeah. They got to do something more with my guys, New Day and Big G. They're holding them back.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news,
I
but
know.
I don't see that happening.
I know.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunately. I wish I wasn't telling the truth. I could have more faith in WWE to do something with the New Day, but I've lost all faith. It's only been 2 months since they lost the World Tag Team titles, but my faith is all gone.
Has it only been 2 months?
Yeah, because they did. Did you see the New Day funeral segment they put up? Yeah, I watched that, and they said that they lost the tag team titles on June 30th.
Oh, okay.
I listened to that whole thing. It was just 12 minutes of them just rambling.
Yeah. Should have been on television. It was never going to be on television, but
it's never going to be on television. Not at 12 minutes, but they could have. During the ad break, they played a portion of it.
Yeah. Sad for the New Day. So much potential there, and just don't know what they got.
I'm gonna stop getting my hopes up for things. Like I'll get my hopes up for Becky Lynch, only because Becky Lynch just keeps mentioning me in her promos. So I will stand by her side and defend anything she does. That segment with Punk was the first time I felt hopeful about the rest of the year for WWE and Monday Night Raw.
We'll see. I don't have too much hope.
Hey, adding Becky Lynch made CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud actually interesting again.
They had to do some things, otherwise, like, okay, here's CM Punk and Seth Rollins again. Like, at least, Becky Lynch freshens it up with things. We're going to get a Braun and Bronson beatdown with everything. LA Knight's odd man out on all this stuff. Jimmy and Jay are back together to fight Braun and Bronson. Punk's with Rollins. LA Knight's, I guess, gonna face
Knights,
Dominic
what
Mysterio.
The hell? What the hell am I supposed to do right now? Yeah, you can face or no, Rusev. Rusev's gonna attack him. Peter Rusev.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
LA Knight seems like the type of person that Triple H will look at him and be like, I see Razor Ramon. I'm just going to put the Intercontinental title on him. He's just going to keep him with mid-card titles for his whole career. He's never going to go up to the main event scene.
I mean, you might be right. Because much like the AJ Styles reaction, they kind of missed the boat when they had it with LA Knight. And look, beating Roman would have been... I understand why people are like, I don't know about beating Roman, but he was over enough to where had he done it, I think people would have been too upset.
Like, I'm not even talking about like beating Roman. Like he could have, he was over at the time when Monday Night Raw introduced the World Heavyweight Championship. He could have easily went to Monday Night Raw and won the World Heavyweight Championship. If you didn't want to put the WWE title on him, if you had your plans for Roman to go to Cody, to go to Cena, to back to Cody, that's fine and dandy. The World Heavyweight Championship is specifically here for guys like LA Knight, for guys that you don't have enough confidence in or you don't see them as a big enough star to hold the top prize in the company. We have a 1B title for those guys to hold, and that's why LA Knight should have been won that title at least a year ago. We're now past that point, I don't ever see him winning the World Heavyweight Championship as of now. I'm hoping I'm wrong in the future. Please let me be wrong. But it really feels like they missed the boat on him. They've missed the boat on quite a few people. Triple H, I'm just talking about Triple H specifically. He's missed the boat on quite a few people.
Yeah. Well, patient booking. You know, you got to have your patient.
You gotta go with the pivots, and we just follow the pivots. We just follow the GPS, and it gets us to the destination. And it's, and I'm a 13-time world champion. This is what we do. This is what we do. I know I will not be answering any questions. This is what we do.
We have a report from Fightful Select that says a very familiar act could very well be headed to WWE. Sources familiar with the situation claim to Fightful that Vinny and Dutch, known as the Righteous, have informed some promoters that they are finishing up their indie dates in the coming months. Word out of WWE is that the company has been interested in them, and many believe they are likely to be signed. This isn't the first time WWE had interest. In December 2022, The Righteous, Casey Navarro, and Kylie Ray participated in an indie wrestler-only tryout. However, that was around the point where Vince McMahon bull rushes back into the company and forced an acquisition, so all hires were frozen. This affected WWE's interest in talent across the board, and no new wrestlers were brought in for months. The Righteous would eventually sign with AEW and ROH before procuring their release this year. We're told that a number of talent has been pushing for the duo. Among them included Elijah, who filmed vignettes with them. Another huge proponent of The Righteous was the late Bray Wyatt, who wanted to work with them and push for them to get hired after their tryout. Karrion Kross has told the story of The Righteous were basically supposed to get hired, and he was going to kind of lead the NXT Wyatt 6 off-brand, or not off-brand, but like branch of things. Cross has said in a couple of interviews, he has mentioned that Bray had an idea where kind of you had members of the Wyatt 6 on each brand doing different things, and then when they needed to come together, they would come together, and the NXT portion was kind of supposed to be Cross and The Righteous, and obviously that never came to fruition. But it does look like The Righteous are headed to WWE. Any thoughts on that, SB3?
I think this is the right spot for them. Whenever you get an act like The Righteous that are just well established and very unique, very eccentric with what they offer as far as their promo style, as far as their in-ring ability, as far as their character work, I think that those are the type of like people that I would be like, let's try them in WWE. They're different enough in WWE, yet they focus on the things like the highlight. What people are fans of The Righteous for is not their in-ring classics. It's for their promos. It's for their character work. It's for the snaps. It's for the snaps when it comes to Vincent. So that's the type of act that I would say, yeah, let's give them a try in WWE. Let's put them on an NXT where an act like that, I don't think right now in NXT they would work, because I feel like that's too many groups that would have a dark aesthetic, because you got the culling, you got the dark state. But like Raw or SmackDown, Raw probably is like the best spot if you're talking about what's a place that doesn't have a group that's like that, because the Judgment Day have turned into Memphis rap enthusiasts who come out to hip hop. So yeah, they don't count anymore. That would probably be the best spot for them, but they could probably find their way on like an NXT or something like that. Vincent is good in the ring, but he's very good on the mic. He has a cadence and delivery that is very makes him stand out almost immediately from the moment that you hear him talk. And he knows how to draw people in, and that basically will pay attention to what he has to say. And he always is saying something, no matter how poetic and kind of allusions and different phrases that he uses there. And Dutch is a good big man in the ring. I think that he carries a lot when they wrestle as a tag team. team in their matches, because I feel like Dutch is pretty underrated when it comes to big man workers out there. So I think they could work, and especially like I said before, on NXT that really needs more tag teams, because their tag team division is weak sauce ever since Fraxium left that division. So they need it. Monday Night Raw's tag team division isn't much better than NXT's. They need somebody over there. The one place we don't need them to go is SmackDown, because SmackDown already got the Wyatt Six. Unless you're going to put them in the Wyatt Six, it don't make no sense to put the Righteous over there. They already got enough tag teams galore that fill in any possible spot that they could possibly fill. So yeah, let's put them on Raw. Let's put them on NXT. Let's see what they can do over there. But I'm looking forward to seeing, what WWE can offer to Vincent and Dutch.
I hope that they find their spot on NXT and are not forgotten about in 2 weeks.
Also true.
Maybe they're behind the culling. Maybe that's where they fit.
Oh, they're the people. He's the one that's been sending Sean Spears the mess, or they're the ones behind the Dark State.
Okay.
They sent him. They sent them.
I don't know where they fit. I mean, they'll fit somewhere. They're good television characters. I don't know if they have a. I think they have a limited shelf life in WWE, and especially NXT, where the focus should probably be on more of the up and coming talent and not so much them. But then if they go to main roster, where are they at? I think Raw could be a fine spot, because Raw needs some help in the tag team division. I wouldn't put them on the same show as the Wyatt Six unless they're going to be part of the Wyatt Six. Yeah. I think spooky stuff, and speaking in riddles, I think it just has a ceiling with everything. And look, I love it. Bray Wyatt is an inspiration for Ring of Hallucinations. Wyatt is more of the exception than the rule. The Undertaker is more of the exception than the rule. There's just a ceiling to that kind of stuff that I think, especially as a tag team, you're only going to get to a certain point. And when you already have a tag team like the Wyatt Six, it's going to be even tougher to stand out with kind of the speaking in riddles type gimmick.
Yeah, that's why I said just keep them far away from them, and I don't think that they should join the Wyatt Six, because I want them to have a chance to stand out. And we've seen with i.e. Jeff Cobb, just putting them in an established group does not benefit them and does not highlight them very well. JC Mateo. We should have known what was going to happen when we saw that name.
Drake is a big fan of Rhea Ripley. He says Rhea Ripley is his muse.
Wait, Drake the rapper?
Yeah. What other Drake is there? Jackson Drake?
Yeah. Could have been Jackson Drake. Could have been. That's the Tennessee, the Carolina Reaper. What are you talking about, man? Heartbreak Drake. I thought you were talking about him. Oh, so Drake is a real freaking wrestling fan, apparently, or at least a Rhea Ripley fan. He's seen her enough. I think it's TikTok.
Yeah, I think it's more of he sees Rhea's TikToks and just Rhea traction, and is like, oh, I love Rhea Ripley. God, he's gonna start doing goth music or something.
He's gonna start making Rhea Ripley references in his raps.
Those references are gonna suck. He's supposed to come out with an album soon, I thought.
He is? Why would he?
Well, he did that rollout, that Iceman rollout, and then he just stopped doing it because the songs sucked and the songs didn't gain any traction. The first one did, and the second one didn't. And so then he just stopped doing the Iceman rollouts. Now he's doing an interview with Bobby Altoff, you know what I'm talking about? Nah,
nope.
you would know it if you seen her.
Yeah, if I seen her, probably.
She does the very dry interviews with people. She's a female with like hair. Describing her
He's like,
very
you
well.
don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, she's like the awkward, like white podcast girl, and she does like dry.
You just
interviews.
described like 87 different podcasts.
Nah, you will know. You seen that clip of she's talking with one of the rappers, and she's like,
What's her name again?
Bobby Altoff, I think. Yeah,
And that's Bobby with an I.
I think so. Yeah.
I think I see her.
Yeah, Google her. You'll know. I can't remember. She's
I,
talking.
I really would have loved to be like, I've never seen this woman a day in my life, but I think I have seen her.
Yeah,
I just don't really know her though.
You've probably seen that clip. I think it's with Megan Thee Stallion, where she's like, "Are you a musician?" And she's like, "I make music." And she's like, "So you're a musician?" And like Megan Thee Stallion's thinking that she's talking about magician. She's like, "I don't do magic. I'm not a magician. I make music." And like it's just this awkward back and forth. It's a very funny clip, honestly. But yeah. That's who Drake has done an interview with. I've not, of course, watched. Oh, it's not Megan. I apologize. That is not Megan Thee Stallion. Sorry. Who is it then? Somebody will tell me.
It's another rapper.
Well,
that numbers it down.
Yeah.
That numbers it down, folks.
I knew that much. I thought it was Megan
rapper.
Thee Stallion. It's a rapper. That's all I know.
It's another rapper.
It's another musician, not a magician.
Not a musician.
All right. Well, I've never heard of that Sukihana. This is the only reason I know that Sukihana person is from that clip. So you could have told me she was a magician. And I would have been like, yeah, that checks out.
Seems about right?
Apologies. I thought it was Megan Thee Stallion. I thought it was someone I actually knew and not someone I've never heard of.
Not someone you just pulled out your hat.
Yeah. Man, I was listening to somebody yesterday. It was online, and they were rapping over the Kid Cudi Day and Night beat. It was like little Dewey or something. People in the chat, if y'all
people who have Little as their first name, like after Lil Wayne, they have not been that good.
Y'all like, hold on, let me make sure. I don't want to fuck up this name too.
Little Dookie.
Nah, Lil. It's not even Lil. It's Lil. Luhh Dial, I guess. DYL. Ladial? Is this his dude's name?
Ladial?
Yeah. He's rapping over the Day and Night beat.
Who?
I don't know. He's not good.
Who?
No. Taylor Portcrab, no. We gotta have better standards than this. No. Listen to this, SP3. I'm gonna send it to you. It's terrible. I'll put it in the private chat. There you go. No, it's not Ladarius. This is Ladial.
Ladial.
Because he has in his name.
You know, Ladial in the house.
Listen to this. It's only 28 seconds.
Ladial, Day and Night samples, Kid Cudi, Day and Night. Oh, no, Night and Day, excuse me.
Yeah.
I feel dyslexic. Ladial.
Are you listening?
What is he saying? He's saying a BB?
He's off beat. He's just,
I need 100 holes by next week.
He's just talking. Like there's no charisma.
Yeah, this is the type of rappers that I told my nephew he shouldn't be listening to.
The actual, I don't want to listen to the actual song. I heard this clip. This clip did not.
Yeah, I think it's enough. I think it's enough that I listened to the snippet. I think that's enough. I think I did my due diligence by listening to the snippet.
Is Ladial actually good? Is this someone like I should pay attention to? Because this wasn't good.
I am guessing by the quality of the snippet, no.
I'm going to see Playboy Cardi in
Why
about
would
a
you do
month.
something like that?
Well, I got friends who want to go see Playboy Cardi.
Oh, you're a fan of Playboy Cardi? I'm sorry.
I didn't say that.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
say I was a fan of Playboy Cardi. I said I got friends who want to see Playboy Cardi. So I'm going with friends.
I'm sorry. Sorry to hear
This
that.
this Playboy. I listened to Playboy Cardi's album, and I got like 3 songs into it. I'm like, this ain't for me. This ain't for
It
me.
only took you 3 songs?
Eh. I try to give it a chance, you know. But yeah, Playboy Cardi and Ken Carson. It's this whole tour. It's going to
I feel like I've heard King Carson before, but
Ken
I don't know who
Carson.
that
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Whenever I hear Playboy Cardi and Little Uzi Vert, I'm like, oh, this is from a generation that I will never understand.
yeah, yeah.
Generation of hip hop. I barely was tapped in on the generation right before the Travis Scott, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole. I was still trapped in like the early 2000s rap. Like the newest rapper that I still knew was Kanye West, but I kind of got tapped in over the last like 2 years into that generation. But I'm not going to waste my time with this current generation.
My,
Anything I've heard from Playboy Cardi hasn't been that good.
I'll
Little Uzi Vert. Nah.
yeah. I'll review the show. I'll review it. It's in October. I'm not going until October, so we're a ways away from it. But I'll let everybody know how it's
You're a
going.
music connoisseur at this point.
Again, it's not my style, but you know, I'll go. My concert going this year is like the 3 dragon meme where you got like the 2 like menacing ones and then the one that's like kind of fucked up. You know what I mean?
That's
That's
that's the Playboy Cardi.
Yeah, because my other 2 concerts are Kendrick and Clips, so it's like yeah, those are those dragons bringing the heat right there. Then you got the dragon that's little messed up. That's the me going to Playboy Cardi after going to Kendrick and Clips this year. I'll have a good time. It'll be fun. I won't know any of the songs, but I'll have a good time with it. You know.
That's funny because first Jose saying you guys following the Young Thug Atlanta drama. First
Nope.
of all, no. Second of all, from like the trap scene era of like the mid 2010s to the late 2010, the only one that I ever liked really was Young Thug because of Lifestyles. Lifestyles is one of my favorite songs ever
Yeah, I never.
because I never knew the words to it. I just mumble rap. Been not the shit never dancing in lifestyle. Lifestyle.
What is Zeno Hour? Brian Alvarez legit hurts my feelings. I hope he hurts your feelings, Zeno Hour. I have to go
Jeremy
to.
has to either go to the NXT show in Columbus and take Mrs. Lambert to a metal concert of her choosing. You didn't give him a choice. You said and. You
Yeah,
didn't say or.
yeah. He said I have to do both.
Oh, okay.
I will.
Okay.
I'll go to a metal concert with my wife. She knows that. I already did one this year, so that's if she wants to go to another one, then I'll go to another one with her. The NXT
Damn.
show.
Young Thug snitched?
I don't want to go to an NXT. Maybe I'll go to an NXT show. Like,
Why would you
Is
do
it-
something like that?
is it a live? I don't want to go to a live event. I don't really care to go to an NXT live event. Like, Columbus is about 2 hours away. I'm not driving 2 hours for a live event. If it's like a show, then maybe, but that's debatable as well. I'm not driving 2 hours to a live event.
Don't blame you.
Now I didn't go to Real American Freestyle, but I heard that was like kind of good. Although I saw a report that they're trying to do Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz. Like what? Huh? What? What do you mean that you're doing Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz in 2025? The fuck are you doing? But I saw the report that like they were hoping for 3,000 and they ended up with 12,000. No fucking way.
Wait, 1,200?
No, 12,000 is what the report said. Like, did Bischoff feed that? There's no way 12,000 people were in the building.
Just gonna add a zero at the end here.
Like, you can't hope for 3,000. And then they got 12,000.
And then when someone questions them on it, it's like, we meant 1,200. We meant 1,200.
Yeah, there's no way.
I think they meant 1,200.
But that doesn't make any sense either. It's like we were hoping for 3,000, but we only got 1,200. Like you got half of what you wanted. And I think by WrestleTix account,
that makes more sense as a sentence than we were hoping for 3,000.
No, I'll read this sentence to you. Hold on. Because it is very clear in the sentence that it was looked at as we were hoping for 3,000, but we way overshot that and got this.
Oh, okay.
No, hold on. I'll read this bar for bar, so I'm not, making this up here. Where's it at? Okay, here it is. All right. This is from PW Insider. I think Bischoff is feeding this stuff, or Sahadi or somebody. One aspect that the company found encouraging was the ticket sales really picked up for Cleveland over the last 48 hours leading into the event. Initially, they were expecting about 3,000 fans based on advanced sales, but one source believed they ended up with over 12,000 plus in the venue.
Okay. Well, damn. How they lie that much?
If you
lie
had
by 9,000.
If you had 12,000 in the venue, you would have shown that more.
Yeah.
Because it says like there's going to be production tweaks going forward to showcase the live crowd more, as last night they purposely darkened the venue in order to keep all viewers trained on the mat and competitors grappling.
And not pay attention to you got empty seats next to you.
Yeah, there's WrestleTix had them. See, WrestleTix had them at about 3,200.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe WrestleTix, and WrestleTix were saying that they had about 3,000 in there. There's no way they ended up with 12,000. They only had it set up for under 4,000. They just magically opened up 11,000 seats 2 days before the event.
We were sold out, brother.
There's no way.
We sold out. Every ticket, every seat available was sold out.
Yeah. Amazing that this is what they're going with, though.
It'd be amazing if they got away with it, if no one questioned this at all.
I don't think anyone did question it because like no one really paid attention to this report until I just brought it up.
I think no one's paying attention to it, so they're just like, "Oh, we got away with it too."
Look, they should be happy with 32. Honestly, like if that's what they legitimately did, that's a good number. Dynamite was in Wolstein. That's the show I went to. I mean, that Dynamite show did. I'll look it up. Hold on. Dynamite. I forgot what day it was, but I'll find
August. Wasn't it August 6th?
Was it August 6th? Yeah. WrestleTix has Yeah, Dynamite had where's it at? 3,049. That was the August 6th Dynamite.
Okay.
So according to WrestleTix, like
sold more.
Freestyle, sold more. Like they should be happy with if they legitimately distributed 3,200. That's still better than what the Dynamite show did. I don't feel like you gotta lie and be like, yeah, we did 9,000 more than that. That's absurd.
Yeah, like you don't have to lie. You could just. I know Eric Bischoff would be loving to brag that they sold more than Dynamite in the building, who had way more time to build up to their show here, but we outsold them.
Wolstein
No
only
big
holds,
stars
like,
here, just Hulk Hogan. We're celebrating Hulk Hogan for the people.
Wolstein only holds like 12,000. I'm not even sure it holds that much, honestly. It says the
It's like
capacity is 13.
We packed as many people as possible in this building. You just don't see them.
Yeah, it says it holds 13. So there you go. And I imagine, the wrestling mat's not that big. It holds 13 for a basketball game. Basketball, big court and everything. This was just a wrestling mat and like some entrances. So you could easily fit more chairs and stuff around that. So it can hold 12.
You know what? I'm going to choose to believe them.
Okay.
I couldn't even keep a straight face. I'm sorry.
All right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. Myself and SP3 will be back tomorrow. Joel is attending to personal matters, although he's in the chat. So, the hell. Joel's attending to personal matters. We will have Bishop Dyer on the show tomorrow at 11. We will talk to him about John Cena using the end of days and anything else that comes up with old Bishop out here. Looking forward to having Bishop. We'll try to recruit him for Ring of Hallucinations and take him away from Busted Open. We'll see how that goes. But Bishop Dyer is on the show tomorrow. SP3, let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, True Hill Heat. I'll be over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel in about less than an hour for Rated Raw review. I'm riding solo on this occasion. Romeo's running away from the grind. Top guy JJ, he's got a legitimate excuse of why he's not showing up. But Romeo's running away from the grind. I will not give any excuses for him. So I'll be writing solos. So you in the chat will be my co-host. So join me for Rated Raw review at 1:05 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be back tomorrow because Joel Pearl makes me do more work. Makes me work 3 days straight. Huh.
Joel's at least got a legitimate excuse.
Yeah, he's got it. That's why I didn't give him the same treatment I gave Romeo. So.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, Bishop wouldn't have stood there taking slaps from Becky. We'll talk to him about that as well. We've got plenty to talk about with Bishop.
We have to ask him what type of advice he would give to CM Punk dealing with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
It's a timely interview with Bishop, with Becky getting involved in things and Cena using end of days. All right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Tell your friends, all that fun stuff. Appreciate everybody. See y'all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.